Yo, 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 what is good? High value basketball here. We are back. What it do, family? What it do? So, let's talk about Kyrie Irving real quick. So, over the past weekend, Kyrie went on the Undisputed show. Well, not Undisputed, that's Shannon Sharp. He went on the Uninterrupted, the barbershop show with uh, with Rich Paul and a nice handful of other celebrities. What Idris Elba was there, and Drew Barrymore was there. So nice, interesting bunch of folks. But the focus is when Kyrie finally spoke and came clean a little bit about his behaviors, So for anybody who's been kind of following, the LeBron saga, even reasonably closely, we all know that he went back to Cleveland. And then he had his little bro there with Kyrie. And then we find out over time, of course, that everything didn't go as planned. There were definitely some rough waters over there, even though they won a championship. They won the chip. They would go back to the finals the next year when KD blasted them off the court, when he joined the Warriors. And then Kyrie runs off to Brooklyn. Runs off to Boston, forces his way to Boston, then has that whole Boston disaster, then of course forces his way over to Brooklyn. And now we have him there. And so basically, keep it real short, Kyrie just finally came clean and he finally said, yo, I was being, as he said, quirky. Old buddy was like, yeah, I definitely have some quirky ways about me. And at least he finally came to a place where he could confirm it, because old buddy definitely was being a big time weirdo. Before, of course, he came out with this. There have been reports, from that Cleveland camp. They used to say, man, when Kyrie was there, he he would just have these weird fits where he wouldn't talk to nobody on the team. Dude would just show up to practice, go over there in his training corner, and wouldn't speak to anybody. Like, what? That's some weird stuff, man. And apparently, that same type of activity it extended out into Boston. Um, and it's funny because before this last little spill that he did, he was on his Instagram, I believe, and instead of just coming clean, he was talking about all these other excuses. He's talking about how his grandfather died. He's talking about how he had to have surgery, and he's like, I got these two giant holes in my leg, bro, and my leg is all skinny, man. Like, do you know what that does to a person? Yeah, I do. I actually put on a cast before, and my arm was skinny when I got out of my cast. Of course, it throws you off. But I didn't disgrace all of my friends because my arm got skinny because I broke it. Like, what? And so, he when he did that spiel on his Instagram, he was using all of his background stuff as an excuse. And he said those were the reasons why, he excommunicated friends or excommunicated his teammates and things of that nature. But as we now see, those are just excuses are yeah, those were really just excuses that he was leaning on to really cover for the fact that the dude just has some odd tendencies. The dude is moody as hell. The dude clearly, once he gets some idea in his head, he wants to keep it that way. Because as we know, the controversy was, and a little bit as he said, he was next up in Cleveland. And we also know that too, if y'all remember, he had just signed that big contract extension to become the face of the franchise. And so he was about to he's thinking he's going to lead his own legacy, him and Tristan Thompson, and they was going, lead the franchise to whatever. Then boom, LeBron swoops in and lights, camera, action with LeBron and all of this other stuff takes all of his shine. Boom, all the quirky stuff comes out with Kyrie, all of this weird attitude and stuff. So clearly this dude has a ginormous ego, and he really does think he's smarter than everybody, or he thinks he can see things more clearly. Just because the dude done read a few books and now he know about Kundalini and transcendental meditation and stuff. Like, dude, just because you know all of that doesn't mean you get a lease on being a weirdo, like especially in a public sphere, like you a celebrity figure, bro. You gotta handle what comes along with that if you want to be collecting these multi-million-dollar checks and living a lifestyle that virtually nobody else on the planet can live. But that's neither here nor there. The point was that he's basically shown these consistencies that he's the toxic one. Like the dude basically blew up a championship team over there in Cleveland because he got mad that he wasn't the number one player. And then he had to go basically figure it out himself when he went over to Boston, gets over to Boston, gets frustrated, starts excommunicating his teammates again, gets all triggered by the city because the city's full of racist, full of racist people and full of a bunch of, folks who think they have a lease to talk to you any kind of way because you're in sports. And then dude goes right back to the same weirdo activity. And so he at least admitted it this time that, he's toxic and he realizes, he has more maturity to do and more maturing to do things of that nature. So good for him. At least he could come clean. But yeah, the things that people were suspecting about the guy, he's finally admitting. So shout out to Kyrie. Shout out to the legacy he's trying to build. Hopefully he can get his mind together and be a leader out there in Brooklyn. It would be interesting to see, just purely from a basketball standpoint. I'd love to see Kyrie and KD in the Eastern Conference Finals battling it out to get to the finals and things like that. I'd like to see that. But time can only tell. So hopefully he'll stay committed to his growth, or the weirdo will emerge again and he'll blow up another team. So high value basketball. Like, share, and subscribe, family. Peace, peace.